This is Rob Carbone, and you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. What is going on, guys? This is Rob Carbone coming at you with another episode of BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. So we're doing episode 98 tonight. It is part 5 of, our free agent scouting. We are going to just do one player tonight. I've been busy today. I've got a lot of work to do online for school, so I didn't have the time to really dive into a bunch of players, but tonight we're going to do a pretty popular player, an upcoming free agent, if he chooses to opt out of his deal, which is very much expected. But before we dive into part 5 of BD4 episode 98, I just want to thank you guys for stopping by, and also remind you, if you haven't yet subscribed to the podcast, then be sure to subscribe to it. We're on like 12, 13, maybe 14 different platforms now. And we're continuing to grow and expand the brand here at BD4. So be sure to follow us. Subscribe to the podcast on, again, Apple, Google, SoundCloud, Spotify, Radio Public. The video cast is up on YouTube. So if you want to find all those different platforms, and if you want to find where to follow me on social media as well, just go to my website at nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com. Once again, that is nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com. Just go there. There should be a tab on the front page called Outlets. Click on that tab, and it'll take you to a page that displays all of my social media websites and all of the podcast platforms. So, with that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We're going to dive into this one. Just one player tonight, so it won't be, hopefully, it's not an episode that goes too long, because I'm tired. I've been busy lately, and I'm kind of exhausted. But, again, I appreciate you guys so much for stopping in. So, whatever you can do to support me is anything. It's huge for me. I appreciate anything in the world, whether you like, comment, or just watch it. It means a lot to me. So thank you for tuning in. But let's get going. So actually, I was just watching the being that there's nothing to do, and we're stuck inside. I was just watching. I guess they're having like an NBA 2K tournament amongst like NBA players, and they're showing the stream on ESPN2. And I've been watching it. I guess it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun, entertaining to watch. Guys go head to head, and just chill and talk together and play 2K. It was cool watching that. I was checking that out. I'm actually recording in the middle. It's a repeat that's on tonight, but it was Hassan Whiteside versus Pat Beverly, and I thought that would have been an awesome one to watch. But I gotta get recording. I don't want to record too late. It's 10:45 on April 3rd, Friday night right now. So I want to get this out of the way, but hopefully I can find that up on YouTube maybe, because I'm really curious to see how two trash talkers hit each other up in 2K and how that whole thing pans out. It seemed like it would have made a pretty good thing to watch. So I'm going to check that out definitely as soon as I finish recording. But obviously, as you guys are listening, we're already set in. It is April 4th, a Saturday, as you're listening to this. But let's just dive in. Enough of the bullshit talk. We wasted 5 minutes already. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's dive in. So tonight, I said we're going to do a popular player in this league. A player that many people know. DeMar DeRozan is, a potential free agent coming up this offseason, whenever that may be. He is a swingman. He's, a wing type of player. Play shooting guard, play small forward. Occasionally, maybe he'll play down with the 1, but I'm pretty sure he's just mostly a wing. 6'6", 220 pounds. This past season for San Antonio, averaged 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Solid numbers across the board. Pretty decent efficiency. 53% from the floor is great. 27% from 3. We'll get to that. And then the 84% from the free throw stripe. So had a good season. But again, he's expected to opt out of his 5-year, $139 million deal in the offseason, where he's averaging $28 million per season when you look at the AAV. So, listen, he's an option out there. I know, the rumors of late over the past couple of months, we've heard the Knicks and DeMar DeRozan kind of link up in rumors that they're interested in him. He's a good scorer. He's a decent facilitator as well, and he's not a bad rebounder. So those 3 things are there. He's athletic. He's got good size. He's an aggressive player. Attacks the rim a ton. He drives a lot. I believe he was second in points per game this past season in points per game off the drive, but he was also a good facilitator on the drive. He liked to penetrate and kick it out to teammates, ranking 8th in assists per game off the drive as well. So, very good at attacking the basket, whether that be scoring himself or facilitating. He's a player that plays downhill a ton. That's why he's so efficient, because he likes to go to the rim, likes to play downhill. And he's also a very masterful mid-range shooter. I think that's where his primary weapon is, really in that mid-range area. Great mid-range shooter. It's mainly pull-up jumpers that he takes. He's not really a catch-and-shoot player. He has the ball in his hands a lot, and we'll get to that as well. But he's a great pull-up mid-range guy. Excellent footwork. He's got a nice little step through when he gets to the rim too. So he's a nice player within 16 feet within, 16 feet and in. He's a good, solid, scorer down there. So again, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists on 53% is not bad. That was through 50 something games this year. And as I said, he's expected to opt out at the end of the season, whenever the offseason hits, and test the market. So rumors to say that he's unhappy in San Antonio. I guess San Antonio kind of underperformed this season, or they weren't expected to be that great, but with a player like DeRozan, they're paying him a lot of money. I guess they were hoping to be a little bit better, and he was kind of disappointed about that. So now we're going to get to why I really don't want him that much. I don't know, maybe it's an unpopular opinion. I'm not really sure where most Knicks fans stand when it comes to DeMar DeRozan. But me personally, I'd prefer they just stay away from him. And I've got a few reasons why. It's up to you it's up to you to decide on whether these are good reasons I'm about to give you or not. But I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of him, and I'm going to tell you why right after the break. We'll be right back. Hey guys, Rob Carbone here. Really quick, I just want to talk to you about Anchor. Anchor is a free podcast hosting site, and I say that again, it's a free podcast hosting site that will distribute your podcast for you to other platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Overcast, and all those websites. But here's the best part. Not only is it free, not only do they share it for you, but they will pay you for recording a podcast. They will pay you. And you can do it from your computer, from your phone. All you have to do is go to the Anchor app and download that, or go to their website, which is anchor.fm, to begin. It's everything you need. It is so convenient for podcasters like myself. So please, guys, go download the Anchor app or go to their website, anchor.fm, to begin. See you there. really just doesn't fit here in New York. And I guess I'll narrow it down to 3 reasons because I don't want to go too long. But the 3 biggest reasons here why I don't really want DeMar DeRozan or why I'm not that excited about him entering free agency is just because, one, he can't shoot and he won't shoot. But the biggest thing is he can't shoot the 3 ball at all. He's never been a good 3-point shooter. He's never improved even marginally in that area. Secondly, he does a lot of isolation. He's an isolation scorer. And those 2 things, not being able to shoot and going into ISO a lot, they're not fit for the New York Knicks right now because the Knicks, they need to sign as many guys as they can to shoot the ball because we saw last season. I guess we'll start with so I have 3 reasons. Can't shoot threes, does a lot of ISO, and I also have written down how long will his athleticism hold up since he's going to be 31 in the summer. But we'll start with the can't shoot 3-pointers thing. And I guess we'll talk about both that and the isolation because those 2 things kind of go hand in hand of where I'm going to go with this. But career 28% 3-point shooter, 28% from beyond New York over the course of his career, taking only 1.5 attempts per game from outside over the course of his veteran career. For this season, 27%. And only taking 0.5 per game. So he literally doesn't take the 3, doesn't try to improve in that area. I don't think he ever works on it. I think he's just, at this point in his career, just going to work on continuing to boost the parts of his game that he's good at. And, he's not, at this point of his career, he's not just going to become a great or even an average 3-point shooter. So that to me worries me because the Knicks, again, I feel like if they're going to waste money, if they're going to spend money in free agency, you have to spend it. You have to absolutely spend it on things you need. That's my biggest thing here. You need to spend it, be smart and spend it properly, especially after last season when the Knicks fooled, they fooled around and they were saying that Durant is a lock, KD's a lock, Irving is a lock. James Dolan was going out there on the Michael Kay show saying that he's coming. Someone told me that he's kind of ready to come here, whatever it was. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, and they ended up missing, and they ended up going after a bunch of power forwards or a bunch of mediocre veterans or mediocre short-term players who the vast majority of the guys who the Knicks did sign cannot shoot the basketball. They only did one thing well, which was play down low in the paint, whether that be scoring or defending. And so that hurt them. We saw this past season where the Knicks were terrible 3-point shooting team. Not only were they terrible percentage-wise, but I think they were dead last in 3-point attempts per game. If I'm not correct, it was like 20. If I'm correct, it was like 27 per game attempts. And they just didn't shoot well. They could not shoot the 3. So why would you go after somebody like DeRozan when he's just going to hurt that? If anything, not that he even... It's not even that he doesn't help that issue. He's going to make it even worse because he's a guy that doesn't shoot threes. He's in the 20% every year from that distance, and he doesn't shoot a lot of them, so he's not even going to try and help you improve in that area. That's not going to work when you're pairing him on the floor with RJ Barrett, who's another guy, he's your franchise cornerstone, and he can't shoot very well. That's not going to work when you're losing players like Damian Dotson and Alonzo Trier, possibly, who are 2 of your only shooters in that backcourt. That's not going to work when you have Julius Randle, who likes to shoot a lot of threes, and he's 20-something% from there as well. So adding somebody like DeRozan is not addressing their flaws. I just feel like the Knicks at this point, learn from their mistakes and go after free agents that can shoot the ball. Why do you think I've been covering guys like Davis Bertans, an upcoming free agent, like upcoming free agents, as well as Danilo Gallinari or guys like Joe Harris? Those are the players the Knicks should be attacking for and trying to sign. I don't think DeMar DeRozan fits, and the isolation thing, again, you have RJ Barrett, who's a guy who likes to create with the ball in his hands. Not that he can't play off the ball, but his best strengths come with the ball in his hands, creating shots for himself, getting to the rim, by slashing with the ball in his hands. That's how RJ thrives. He's excellent, and I mean excellent, at being a bully and attacking the rim. We saw that this season plenty of times. Very good driver, and RJ needs the ball in his hand. So how is that going to work when they're paired together? DeMar is obviously going to start, as well as RJ, who's obviously going to start. So, and then you throw in Randle. Randle likes to isolate as well. So you're talking about 3 players who are, not that, I guess 3 players who are ISO heavy, or 3 players who thrive most with the ball in their hands in that starting lineup. It just feels a little clanky to me. I just don't see that working well. So when you take into account 3-point shooting that he cannot do very well, you take into account the isolation that he does a lot, I just don't see it. I just feel like at this point the Knicks should be going after players that can shoot, and they should be focusing on developing RJ. Let RJ Barrett get his ball time. Let RJ Barrett get his shots. He needs the shot attempts. If you're going after somebody like DeRozan, he's a star. He's not going to take a backseat to some 20-year-old kid. He's going to get his shot attempts. He takes, 15 per game? So he's going to, a lot of ball time. The usage rate isn't going to be great for RJ. The shot attempts won't be high. I just feel like it's kind of like a Marcus Morris situation where he's not going to be able to develop properly with another ball-dominant 31-year-old who's, I feel like it just feels like a very win now move when the Knicks are years away from winning. It's a win now move. It is. It feels like a team that's a fringe contending team trying to add that last piece to the missing puzzle. That's who I think, should be going after DeRozan. Teams that need that final piece. Not the New York Knicks, who should be focusing on developing their young talent, but somebody who's right there on the edge of cracking the 8th seed in the upcoming season. I just feel like he doesn't have a spot here. And then there's the risk of losing his athleticism. He's a player who relies, again, going downhill aggressively and attacking the rim with his athleticism. He's very athletic. So, going to be 31 in August. How long are you going to sign him for? How long is he going to hold up? He's a player with a lot of mileage underneath him. When he loses that athleticism, really doesn't have too much else to bring you offensively. So it just scares me in terms of not being able to fix the Knicks' flaws in terms of 3-point shooting. It scares me when it comes to the ball time and him dominating even more possessions that'll ice RJ Barrett out. And it scares me with just the age and the cost he'll amount to. I'm not sure how much he's going to ask for, but I'm sure it's not going to be too cheap. As one of the better free agent wings out there, I'm sure I'm sure DeRozan is going to be asking for a fair amount of money, maybe north of 15. Right now he's making $28 million per season, and he had one of his best seasons of his career. Actually had a career high in field goal percentage, so he might even make north of $20 million again per season. So I wouldn't dish out that amount of cash. I would not throw the bag at somebody like DeMar DeRozan when he doesn't, in any category, in my personal opinion, this is just me, when he doesn't fill any voids that the Knicks have at the moment. I just feel like they should be attacking guys who actually address their flaws. But I don't know. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong on this, and I'm not seeing something that you are. But let me know. I'm glad to get other opinion about this whole thing. And if I'm missing something, I would love to know what I'm missing. And I always love communicating with whoever it is. So let me know. But that's pretty much it as far as just talking about the free agents. Not much has happened, obviously, lately with the Knicks in terms of headlines, but, a couple days ago we got the Bobby Portis news that he's expected to opt out and not exercise that option on his deal for $15 million. He's expected to test the open market, so that's a positive for Knicks fans. Please get out of here. What else is new? I don't know. I guess there's a little report today that said Julius Randle kind of frustrated his teammates this past season because of his play style and the amount of times he dribbled the ball and I guess missed open teammates, but that didn't really break any news for me. If you watch the Knicks even slightly, you can see it in the faces of RJ Barrett in particular. Guys just don't like playing with this guy, and I agree. It's not that's not rocket science. Julius. It's a curious case with Julius because, when the Knicks signed him, I'm going to be honest with you. When the Knicks signed him, I didn't love the signing. I know he has some talent, but I always looked at him as a losing player. I just feel like he's not the winning type of player. He doesn't really make the winning plays, but I gave him a shot. Started out the season horrifically, was absolutely dreadful, particularly under David Fizdale, was Randall. He was terrible. But, then Mike Miller came along, and for a stretch, it looked like he kind of fixed him and played him the way he should have, but he was still kind of inconsistent. So overall, I think in his progress, or in his final report card of the season, I gave Julius Randle a C+. B minus maybe tops, but I just feel like he was very up and down, very reckless, and wildly inconsistent out there. So I understand why teammates were frustrated with his play style, because this is a guy who thought he was a point forward out there. He's a power forward with the strength and athleticism and the size to be able to dominate the paint. He's a guy who should be playing off the ball as a screener, as a roller, as a guy who shoots off the pick and pop, right? A guy who rolls out of pick and roll, a guy who rim runs and just scores off the ball, off screens and curl arounds and things like that. But this past season, he didn't really do that much. He dominated possessions. He led the Knicks in usage rate. They treated him like a number one option. Therefore, he took the ball up court a whole lot. He dribbled into traffic a whole lot, and that caused, sometimes these high turnover prone games. And he just, a lot of shot creating when he shouldn't have been shot creating. He should have been the one being spotting up. And he took shots off the dribble too much from downtown, causing an inefficient percentage. When Julius Randle is playing underneath a legitimate system, a legitimate coach, and playing with proper talent around him, with point guards who can actually distribute properly and just don't exclude one player or two players while, passing to, while when he's playing with a point guard who knows how to play point guard, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And when he's playing under a legit system, I think that's when he'll get his most, that's when he'll be most productive. This season, yeah, you can make the case he averaged, 19 points and something near 10 rebounds. But I just feel like a lot of that was empty production because of his inability to, first and foremost, defend. He's not a good defender. He's got the strength to be a good on-ball defender down low, but too often he doesn't help on defense. Terrible help defender, not great off the ball. Always late on closeouts, and a lot of it is effort. Doesn't switch very well. Very poor defender. Some effort, some just being stupid. And the IQ was an issue offensively. Again, dribbling into traffic, taking terrible shots off the bounce when he shouldn't have, shooting early in the shot clock. I just feel like this is a guy who should be playing. The Knicks are treating him like a number one option when he shouldn't be. The Knicks should focus on developing R.J. Barrett, developing Mitchell Robinson, and developing the core around those two players. But right now, with Julius Randle on the team, I feel like it's more of a distraction. It's just going to be worse as the years go if they continue to treat him as a number one. Some may make the case, well, that's what this offseason is for. The Knicks are going to try to go after a new coach, and the Knicks are going to try to go after a point guard in that draft. To me, that just sounds like a little too easy. But hey, say that happens. Say we do get our big coach who's going to turn him around, and we get our point guard of the future. It's going to be make or break for Randle. There's no more excuses then. But I just feel like this is who he is. I feel like with him on this team, he's going to want to get his shots. I feel like he has too much pride. I'm not his biggest fan. A lot of his inefficiency is because of the Knicks, but some of his inefficiency is on him as well. He is the one dribbling the ball after all. He is the one making his own decisions after all. I just feel like the Knicks should be giving R.J. Barrett the ball time, and he should be their primary go-to guy. I don't care if it's not going to work as many times as it would with Randle. I don't care if Randle is considered the best player. I think the Knicks should be focusing on R.J. Barrett as their number one so they can grow properly. If you treat RJ, you're not going to win games. That's the bottom line. You're not winning games next season. No matter what you do, you're not going to win, more than 30 games tops. So with that said, what's the harm in actually rebuilding like a rebuilding team should be doing? What's the harm in treating your draft picks that came in the lottery like draft picks who came in the lottery? Play RJ Barrett as your number one. That's how you develop him. Get him used to being that primary ball handler or primary go-to guy and see where you go from there. Playing Julius Randle as your number one option is not the way to go. It's just going to ice everybody else out. And, RJ Barrett was many times this season when he shared the floor with not just Randle, but when RJ shared the floor with guys like Portis and Payton as well, he was left outside the fucking three-point line, spotting up, waiting for his catch and shoot. And that's not the kind of player he is, because again, he's the guy who creates with the ball in his hands and attacks the rim with the ball in his hands. He's not a spot-up guy. He's not a floor spacer. He's a guy who creates with the ball in his fucking hands. And playing with Randall, Portis, and a bunch of guys who dominate possessions like that, it's not going to help him grow. So that's my whole thing with the Randall news that broke today. I'm not surprised. I just hope the Knicks can find a way to move his contract, but it could be a very, difficult thing to do. To me, that's kind of an untradeable contract. He's making a ton of money. But if they can find a contender who needs that last piece of the puzzle, and they can find somebody who might use him as a sixth man, which I think is probably his best fit. He's best off being a sixth man, somebody who's not a 1-2 or even a third option. Just somebody who rolls, somebody who rim runs and pick and pops and spots up when he shoots it, not just off the dribble all the time. Somebody who plays the way a power forward should play, a more traditional power forward who can, yes, stretch it here and there, but not abuse that three-point line. I don't want to talk too much about him. Tonight was about DeMar DeRozan, though. And how the Knicks should, in my personal opinion, not go for him and just pass up on that one. I just feel like it's a shortcut that's probably not going to work. At this point, focus on growing in the draft and add those complementary pieces by getting players who can shoot in free agency. That's my whole take on this. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. This has been Rob Carbone with episode 98 of BD4. Where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Tonight we did Knicks free agent scouting part 5. There will probably be a part 6 up. Again, by the latest I'd say is Monday, but usually we're doing these on a daily basis at the moment. So it could be up as soon as April 5th. So that is a Saturday. Sunday. So guys, thank you so much for stopping by. This is Rob Carbone, your host of BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Thanks so much. I appreciate all the support. And once again, if you haven't subscribed to BD4, if you haven't followed my social media, be sure to do all of that on my website, which is located in my bio on all 3 social media websites. But you can just go to nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com. Once again, that is nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com. Go there. The first page you see will have a tab called Outlets. Click on Outlets, and it'll take you to, everywhere you need to be at. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. And yeah. That's going to do it. Part 6 will be out very soon. Thanks so much, guys. Rob Carbone, your host of BD4, signing out. Ciao. Hey, we hope you enjoyed the show. And if you did, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that fun stuff. If you want to follow BD4 on all the different platforms we have, all you have to do is go to my website, nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com. Once again, that's nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Ciao.